Welcome to Danbo on the cutting edge. First up for today, first knife tested is a Gerber Bear Grylls folder. Interesting knife. First, of course, you need a knife to get it out of there. So we already did that. And there's the knife. And there's your instruction and care booklet. And look at that. Actually, well-made sheath. Get that out of there. Here's a sheath, and inside that, look at that, a little Bear Grylls, how to stay alive in the woods. And of course, if you have a match, you could always use that for kindling. And actually, nice package. So let's see what this can do. First off, we're going to see how sharp this blade is. Or cut. Nylon. Piece of cake. Heavy duty cord. And of course we have a serrated edge and a straight edge, and I'll get to that later. Piece of cake. And of course we have twine. How many times have you done that? Lots of twine. How about wood? I could do this all day. Now a lot of people like to test on paper. Now, let me show you something about that. Paper. Now, lots of people, not the best test for a knife. You know what we use for that? Scissors. How often do you use a knife to cut paper? And if you're sharpening your blade that much that it's going to be cutting paper like that, you may be getting it too thin, in which you're going to have folding on the edge of the blade. And we'll get to that later too. Anyway, this is a really sharp knife actually. I love the grip. It's a rubber grip and it just fits perfectly. But let's check the real sharpness. Now let's see how sharp that blade. Oh my God, whoa. Whoa, that baby is sharp. Oh my gosh. Ooh, God. Ooh. Can I get something here, please? Whoa, okay. Wow. Oh boy. Oof. Well, we're not going to let that happen, are we? Okay, so one thing about knives, they are sharp, and that's not the way to check the blade. So keep it sharp, but keep it safe. Now, cardboard. And the best thing about that serrated edge there is that it'll cut through just about anything. And you still have the straight edge. But what are you going to use that knife for? Once again, they're not for cutting paper. You might use it on plastic, like butter. You might use it for stabbing, Mr. Pumpkin. But I tell you, I'm very impressed with this, and for the price, $20, $25 or so, and you got yourself a really nice knife. Also today I've got a real beauty, higher end Benchmade. Now, the reason I brought this out is because, oh look at that, like a piece of jewelry. But very similar. A rubberized grip, which is incredible. Got a nice pocket clip there, which is reversible, lefty, righty. And of course you have your thumb studs on both sides. And this is just a work of art. And easy to close. And once you get good at it, closing it is a piece of cake. And of course, like all good knives, it'll go through all the materials that you want it to. And you can still whittle your wood. And that's a real beaut. Price wise, about $125, but well worth it. Well worth it. When you look at the way these things are machined and put together, they just glide. Every moving part just glides into place. And we'll take a closer look at that inside. So once again, we have the Bear Grylls by Gerber folder, and we're going to check out some of the specs on that right now. So first of all, blade, before I even get to the blade length, I just want to show you that the half serrated blade, half plain edge, is truly half and half. Usually when you get a combination blade like this, you have maybe just a quarter of the blade, a third of the blade at the most serrated, which really doesn't give you a serrated blade. This gives you a serrated blade and a plain edge blade. Does it very nicely. Okay, let's see the length of that. And that measures at 3.6 inches of blade. Overall length is exactly 8.5 inches. So that's a full-size folder there. Not an everyday carry, but it does a lot of tasks throughout camping, hunting, hiking. Utility blade does a really nice job, and the lightness of this thing. In fact, let's see. It's just unbelievable. For such a big knife, it weighs in at 4.4 ounces. So you don't even notice it on your side, and of course you could work with that all day and feel zero fatigue. The other nice thing I liked about this blade is it's cut from a nice stock of high carbon steel, and we'll check this out right now with a caliper, and that is measuring just about 1/1500ths of an inch, which is pretty damn thick.
And go.
So once again, at just about 25 bucks, you can't beat it. It's a good value, good knife, can't go wrong, can't lose it either with those nice orange colors there. And of course, it's actually a well-made ballistic nylon sheath that goes with it. After looking at the Bear Grylls knife, we're going to look at something similar. Grizzly Ridge Hunt Series by Benchmade. Once again, you have that nice rubberized grip. You have that hard composite, Grizzly, and of course the orange is everywhere. Everywhere you drop it, you got a good chance of finding it. Deployment is 100%. And of course you have the axis lock, so you could open it, close it with one hand. Now, let's take a look at some of the specs. We have a blade length of, that's 3.5 inches, with an overall length of 7.75 inch. And let's take a look at the weight. And that's 3.7 ounces. And we'll look at that blade thickness. And that is just about 0.13. That's 0.13. I love everything about this knife. The blade actually has jimping on the end here, so you can do some really fine work, as well as where you typically have it for your thumb. And all of the accents are just unlike any other knife. You have a lanyard hole, and of course you have the full steel liners, top and bottom, or side to side. And there's your belt clip right there. Now, one thing I'll tell you about the belt clip, because of that rubberized handle, and that is a sale point right there. That is just the best, most grippable handle. But when you put it in your pocket, it's just a little slow taking it out. Not a big deal. But what I've done is, and this is something you should always have, is a torque set. You could always have one of these, or you could have any type of tool that holds a Torx will work. And this is a T6. And what we could do here is simply take those screws right out and remove the clip. And let me tell you something, without this clip, wow, that knife just comes to life, doesn't it? Now, it really fits in your hand, and you could just drop it in your pocket, pull it out, open it up, close it up, drop it in your pocket. And if you don't just like sticking a knife down in the bottom of your pocket, what I did is purchase just a, pretty generic sheath, and look at that. There's something to be said for that too. So overall, this knife is made of S30V steel. Got one of the best handles in the knife industry. At $125 from Benchmade, that is a bargain. This is a very useful knife, and I'm sure you'll think so too. But like any knife, get it in your hand. Everybody's different. It's all ergonomics, but I think you'll be very impressed with this. And the one thing I didn't mention is that shape, that recurve in the blade, which really helps out in tasks like skinning. Now, we don't have any deer in the house, but maybe we could find some kind of a guinea pig. Ooh, here we go. What do you know? Let's see.
No, Daddy, not my guinea pig.
Whoa, oops. Okay, so you got to see a couple of knives, some similarities, but very different knives. Hopefully, you can make a better decision on which knife is right for you. They come in many different sizes, shapes, colors, weight, and it's a very personal choice. You gotta get one, put it in your hands, and see if it's right for you. The next videos, I'll be showing you some more knives, maybe some big knives, and maybe we'll see some little itty bitty knives. So from all of us at Danbo Industries, stay safe and stay sharp. Pun intended.